want to come and answer a question that a YouTube subscriber asked for my recommendation about what two pairs that they should focus on. It kind of gave me just a small spiel about it. So this is from Hey Bear. Hey Bear asks, hi Shaquan, want to ask for your recommendation. I want to focus on two pairs to trade on London to New York session. What would you recommend? GU, EU, GJ, or AU? Thanks, been binge watching your videos. And so what I want to say to you first is thank you for binge watching my videos. I really do appreciate the love and support. First, I want to ask you, what made you decide these four currency pairs? GU, EU, GJ, AU. First, let's look at EU and GU first. I call those sister pairs because if you notice anything about those pairs, they tend to move together. So let's just say that you decide to trade both of these currency pairs, and just because they move together doesn't mean they're going to move together every single day or every single candlestick. It just means that they may trend together. If GU is going in a downtrend on, let's say, the daily time frame, EU may be doing the same. It doesn't mean you're going to take a trade on the same day on these pairs, but you generally don't want to trade these pairs oppositely. You don't want to be buying EU and selling GU. That's out of correlation. Now, at the same time, which currency pair will fit you a little bit better? Would it be both of them? Would it be GU or would it be EU? Now let's add AU into the mix. AU is also a sister pair because they fit into the same category. The United States dollar is what's last in those pairs. GU, which is the Great British Pound, United States dollar. European Euro, United States dollar. Australian dollar, United States dollar. So they all have the United States dollar in common, right? So if you trade EU and GU and or GU and AU and or AU and EU, those pairs move slightly different from AU, but which one, once again, will fit you a little bit better. Now let's talk about speed and movement. GU tends to move a little bit faster as far as getting to the next cent. Faster than AU. AU is a little bit slower, right? Like if you look at AU, it can go from like 0.74 to 0.75. And I'm just using these as an example. It could take maybe 2 to 5 days, right? And that's with momentum, where GU can probably reach 100 pips in 1 or 2 days with good momentum, right? And so that's something that you want to look at as well. GU tends to fluctuate a lot, which could be good if you're a trend trader, where AU fluctuates a lot too, but you're going to notice the fluctuations are a little bit different, and so that's something you're going to have to look at. EU is pretty good, but it tends to be a little bit more wicky, so you got to look at the characteristics of all of those pairs. Now let's put GJ in this. GJ doesn't correlate with any of these, okay? It may correlate a little bit better with GU because they both share the Great British Pound, but you have to look at, once again, the same thing I'm speaking about. Like GJ moves fast. It gets to its next yen point quickly, so it's going to move faster than AU. So let's just say you decide to trade GJ and AU together. That may be a really good balance, because if AU moves slower than GJ, then you got a pretty good balance there, where you may not have to look at the speed movement of AU as much as you would GJ. So test that out. If you trade GJ and GU together, you're gonna be trading two fast pairs together, okay? So that's the correlation part that I want you to think about. Which pairs would mesh well for you together? One thing I also want to motivate you in is you never let anyone decide what pairs you should trade, because at the end of the day, this is your money. Anyone can give a recommendation, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you, which is why I'm going to be asking you these remaining questions to help you find what's going to work best for you. You have to decide it's going to work for you, no one else. Let's start with your trading rules. What I want you to do is write down what you trade as far as your system. How do you trade? What is your foundation? And then I want you to write down every single rule of your system. What do you believe the market does? Do you believe that it's a trending market? How do you trade the trending market? What do you need to see when price is trending? Do you trade chart patterns? What patterns are you trading? What do you believe about the market in order for it to create patterns for you to see? How do you trade them? Are you the breakout trader? Are you the break and retest trader? Then I want you to write down what time frames you use, meaning every time frame that you use, what do you look for on each specific time frame? Then I want you to write down, what do your entries need to look like for you to enter into a trade? And what do your exits as far as your stop losses and your take profit look like? What I also want you to write down is, what does your risk to reward need to be? What is the average risk to reward? What is the minimum risk to reward that you would take to say, this is a trade based on my rules and system that I'm willing to take on whatever currency pair that I choose? Then I want you to go and back test each currency pair that you asked me about, EU, GU, GJ, AU. And I want you to back test at least 50 trades on each. It's not about how far you go back. Now, I prefer you do this two ways. The first way that you may want to back test this is you may want to back test with the candlesticks all already on your chart. What I find is, if you do things with already seeing them, the market's going to play out how you want it to play out because you can see what was already ahead. You're going to skew the numbers yourself. But then here's what I want you to do. Whatever you back tested on, if you wrote everything down or you logged it into some Excel spreadsheet or whatever, close that out or move that paper away. I want you to then use bar replay. If you're using TradingView, I want you to use the bar replay function. Back test without any of those candlesticks from the starting point of those 50 trades. And I want you to back test without ever knowing what was going to come after. Because now you can't skew that data unless you just played it forward, but don't cheat. Okay, you can't say, well, I would have taken this. You don't know what you would have done because you don't know what price would have done while it's actually moving on those specific time frames. Now, if you have the pro version of TradingView, I believe you can backtest and use any time frame. But if you have the free version of TradingView, I believe you can only use the daily, weekly, and monthly. So I do suggest you get the pro version if you don't have that on TradingView to be able to backtest every time frame and change it as you need to. What you're looking for when you backtest these individual currency pairs, meaning you need 50 backtested trades, which means you need 200 trades total, okay, across all those four. You're backtesting what currency pairs work best with your rules. This is why I'm having you write down everything you need to see first, everything you do first, your risk to rewards, everything first before you backtest. And here's what you're looking for when you backtest. Per pair, you're going to look for what currency pair met your rules the most. You're also going to be looking for what currency pairs did not meet your rules the most. Because the ones that met your rules the most, probably the ones you should be trading. And the ones that did not meet your rules could mean two things. One, you got stopped out a lot. Or two, you just weren't able to get into any trades. So the next thing you're going to focus on is, what was the distance in between the trades? So let's just say that you were stopped out on the trade or you took profit on the trade. When was the next trade? So now you have to look at the dates. It's really important to look at the date and the time you enter, especially if you're trading on a lower time frame. Anything lower than a daily, you got to pay attention to the time in the day. Anything above the daily or at the daily, you only just have to pay attention to the day that you enter into the trade because it's not time based at the time. Now, I'm having you do this because you also asked about the time session. You're saying that you want to focus on two pairs to trade on the London and New York session. So now you're going to be focused on, well, around what time did I normally enter most of my trades? I don't know what time zone you live in, so I'm just going to give you like my time zone that I live in. I'm Eastern Standard Time. So if I notice that most of my trades are coming at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, I may want to pay more attention to my charts around that time. Now, if I also notice that I'm having trades around 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then I'm normally going to want to come back to my charts around that time. You see where I'm going with that? So that way, at least you get the average time you need to be paying attention. Now, I don't know the time frames that you trade. You only asked me this question. It's a very broad question to answer, which is why I have to have a lot of questions to ask you. Because the thing is, I don't know who you are as a trader. I don't know what you do as a trader. And you can give me a quick 30-second spiel. It still doesn't allow me to get to know you. But now I'm making you write everything down so you can see what you do and answer your own questions. You see that? Now, another thing that I'm having you do when you do this is you're going to ask yourself, on average, how many trades a month can I expect my system to give me? Which is why I'm having you write everything down. Am I looking at per pair 2 or 3 trades a month? a day? If you're a day trader, am I looking at 4 or 5 trades a day? Am I only looking at 1 trade a day? What are you actually looking at from these currency pairs? So you're getting to know them as you backtest. Then what you're also doing is you're asking yourself, does this meet my minimum risk reward rules? Is it like, when I want to enter these trades, am I getting at least a 2-to-1 and higher? Because of course you want a 2-to-1 and higher. You want to be able to make more than what you're going to be risking on these trades, right? And are you getting that result? So at the end of this, at the end of all of this back testing, what you're really asking yourself is, which currency pairs out of the 4 did not meet my expectations over the last 50 trades per pair? You're going to be doing the process of elimination. You gave me 4 pairs that you were looking for. Maybe AU wasn't your thing. Maybe it was. Then you'll keep it or you won't keep it. Maybe GJ was your thing or it wasn't. So then you're going to keep it. You see where I'm going? Only you can decide that based on what you back tested. And then I want you to look at your trading style in your life. The trading style that you have, you could be a day trader, you could be a swing trader, you could be a position trader. I don't know, you could be a scalper. But when you back tested, did you back test per your true trading style? Were you on the right time frames? Because that's important as well. Were these currency pairs meeting your criteria? And that is something that you are looking for. Also gonna wanna look at the negatives of some of the pairs as well. Which ones confused you? Which ones consolidate? Like, are you the consolidation trader? Are you the trend trader? Because those are trading styles. Are you the counter trend trader? When you back tested, and notice you're gonna back test these things specifically to the criteria as well for what you wrote down. You want to back test if they fit your type of condition to trade, your market conditions. Your market conditions are very important. Consolidation is a market condition. Trading in an uptrend is a market condition. Trading in a downtrend is a market condition. So what currency pairs met the conditions that you needed and for how long, which is why the dates and the times are very important. So this is just a starter here for choosing the currency pairs that you should trade. Once you get it down to those 2 that you decide, I need you to trade. Okay, like go into your demo account. Live account is honestly up to you. I'm just saying demo, but live account is up to you. Go and start trading, right? Based on what you've back tested. If you find that you found your 2 currency pairs, now it's time to test it in the real market instead of back testing. Test to see how well you'll do now. Get up to another 50 trades and see if those 2 pairs work out for you. Because once again, only you're going to know that based on the criteria that you, based on these questions, and trust me, it's a lot more questions, but just based on these, only you're going to know if it's going to work for you, either during the London or the New York session and or both. You're one of the ones who listened to this as well, and you've been needing help on your charts, and you needed these questions, write them down. And if you're also somebody who says, Shaquan, I would actually like to work with you and get more into detail for my own trading journey, well, let's do it. Because I've decided this year I'm only doing one-on-one sessions, right? I still have my community, but that's gonna be closed to who's already in there. Unless we work one-on-one together and then I add you to that community to continue to keep tabs on you and what you do and then to help you grow. So if you're one of those people who want to grow with me, make sure you guys click the link down below in the description to be able to get a one-on-one consultation with me, and then we'll go from there. I pray you guys have a really, really great week, and I'll talk to you guys later. Happy trading, be blessed.